Good morning, Slop Nation. Welcome to Slop Chop. This is a new comedy podcast hosted by myself, Harvey Mulvihill. It is about the happenings of the internet, and it is your one-stop shop for slop. Thank you for joining me. SILKSONG is real. SILKSONG is freaking real. I'm so excited, but we're not going to talk about that just yet. If you do not care about one of the topics, slopics, that I'm discussing on this very podcast, you may. It is your prerogative to skip skip it. Just there's always time codes in the description. Skip the shit that you don't care about, brother. We'll be talking first. Well, first of all, just how you guys doing? You guys doing good, man? You guys, you living it up? I'm excited today. I'm having a great time. Having a great time doing this podcast, and I'm excited today because we got a lot of slop to talk about. This was a week that was chock full. Chock full? I believe that's correct. Week is full of slop. And that makes my job easy. I don't have to come on here and just bullshit and talk about random nonsense that doesn't matter. I get to talk about random nonsense that doesn't matter. But it's it's stuff that you might have heard of. So that's exciting. Also, I shaved. I look like a different human. I look like 8 years younger. It's questionable. It was an impulsive decision. It's the first time I've been clean shaven in like a decade. So it is what it is. Let's move past it. I want to talk really quickly. Apple. You guys heard of Apple? Tim Apple and his team just released a statement about their failure or their kind of. Okay, so let me just set the stage for you. This most recent Apple update, they did this big push for AI, which they were calling Apple Intelligence, right? They were going to put AI in Siri. They're going to put AI in every aspect of the iPhone, and you could just use it. You could use ChatGPT, when Siri doesn't fucking know anything, which that bitch never knows anything. She can just, offload the requests to ChatGPT, who knows some things, right? That was the idea. And I have had personal experience where like that does happen. That is one thing they have implemented, and it's not nearly as robust as what they were promising. Dude, they were marketing the hell out of this thing. I live in Dallas, and there's this massive billboard just says Apple Intelligence with iOS 17 point whatever, blah blah blah, right? Like they were marketing the hell out of this, and it is odd to me that they didn't follow through with it. Them being Apple, the $1 trillion company, one of the biggest companies on earth, massive market cap. They have, if I'm not mistaken, 80% market share in people under 30 in the US. 80 fucking percent of people on my age or younger have an iPhone in the United States of America. That is absurd. No one can touch that. That market share is like ridiculous. So when they do something, they have a rich history of waiting until the competition does a thing and then implementing it and putting it into their Apple ecosystem successfully. That's kind of their bread and butter. They wait till you do it really well and they copy what you've done. They copy your homework and they change a couple of the words and they make it work with their Apple. They make it transfer between your watch and your iPad and your your Vision Pro. Remember that? So that's the MO, right? And they made this big ass marketing push for AI. And recently they've put out this, I hesitate to use the word statement. It's more of like, it's an article on their machine learning research. It's on their website. I'm not entirely sure. machinelearning.apple.com. And so they put out this statement a couple days ago. And I will summarize it for you here. As a matter of fact, ironically, I used AI to summarize this article about AI. So like I said, it's good for something. It's good for something. It's good for a lot of things. What are we talking about? It's helpful. So basically, what they're pivoting. And this is the first time they've addressed this pivot. And it's something that I've noticed. I've been like, wow, you made this huge marketing push for AI, and then you can't find it in the phone. It's just not, it's not part of the Apple experience. There's no real AI in the phones. Have you guys noticed this? Isn't it odd that they made this huge marketing push and they haven't really done anything in the space? It's weird. So they put out this thing that was saying, like, essentially they're pivoting away from the LLMs, the large language models, and the reason that they're pivoting away, is because they don't think that they can scale to the like idealized general GAI, whatever the thing is that Sam Altman is looking to eventually sell all of the human race to. Apple is under the impression that these current LLMs are not going to cut it in the future, which I agree with. I find it it's annoying to me that people call everything in this space AI when it's not intelligence, it's not thinking, it's just predicting the next letter to spit out based on a large data set, right? That's why it's a language model. It's predicting the next thing that it spits out, and it does do that with surprising accuracy. But it's not thinking. It's not a Cortana, or I don't know, her the robot from Her, the thing from Her, where you're like, it's just not that. It's not that, and it's not even close to that yet, right? And what Apple would have you believe, and what I do believe currently, is that there's no version of this that will become GAI. That we had, like, there's a fundamental. We need a new sort of technology that can scale to that level, right? So they make the distinction in this press release, again, not a press release, in this article, that there's a difference. There's LLMs, large language models, and LRMs, which are large reasoning models. Okay. And your LLMs are your ChatGPTs, your Claudes, your fucking Groks. Like, that's what most of the industry standard is using, right? There are I asked this fucking computer what okay, so give me some examples of LRMs, large reasoning models. DeepMind, alpha geometry. So it's like really specific stuff. Wizard LM reasoning for like the research community. And it's basically like really niche, super intensive uses. They're like, it's for stuff that is more difficult to do than your typical consumer is going to need or want or use. Okay. But here is the kicker. They say they did a bunch of tests with 3 different levels of complexity: low, medium, and high complexity. Your low complexity, your standard LLMs actually outperform the more intense LRMs. Low complexity, your typical basically Google search bullshit. Your LLMs actually outperform the quote unquote smarter ones that actually think. And again, actually think is also in quotes. This entire segment is in quotes. None of this is real. Everything's fake. AI it's so far from just taking over the world, man. I really don't. I think that we are finally in the trough of disillusionment, as I've said many times. I love that. So, medium complexity. LRMs start to pick up the slack. They're like, if you have your, I'm trying to think of an example, if you add a couple of different variables to your question, suddenly LRMs are able to kind of reason that out better than your typical ChatGPT LLMs. It's very important. It's very important. Please pay attention. Lastly, high complexity, they both shit the bed. They both suck. They both fail entirely, is what the words are that they use. So the high complexity, like human thought process, how do I build a shed from start to finish, the way that a human brain works, where you can kind of puzzle out the entire thing. Both models are completely incapable of doing that. And there's not, according to Apple at least, there's no amount of scaling or improvement that can change these models into what the world thinks, a Skynet, or whatever the world thinks is going to happen with AI. It's not like, it's really difficult to make this model become every aspect of even a customer service interaction, right? You'll call a place now, and you'll get the fucking robot that is an AI, just like a chat bot, basically, which is very annoying. But that chat bot is so far from being able to fix your problem entirely. What all it is doing really is just running through the fucking FAQs and doing the first 5 steps that every customer service individual is going to run through with you. Have you tried turning it off and on again? Right? Have you fucking unplugged your router? Have you blown your brains out? That type of thing. And so, there's these fucking current models do not have the ability to handle complex, deep things. Okay. So Apple is pivoting away from them. I'm just going to read this verbatim for you. They exhibit a counterintuitive scaling limit. Their reasoning effort increases with problem complexity up to a point, then declines despite having an adequate token budget, meaning like enough data to figure the thing out. By comparing LRMs with their standard LLM counterparts under equivalent interference commute, oh boy, it's a lot of words. We identify 3 performance. Fuck you. I've already said this. Kill yourself. We found that LRMs have limitations in exact computations. They fail to We also investigate the reasoning traces in more depth, studying the patterns of explored solutions and analyzing the model's computational behavior, shedding light on their strengths, limitations, and ultimately raising crucial questions about their true reasoning capabilities. So they did a bunch of tests, and they were like, damn, these fuckers aren't thinking, are they? Damn, these language learning, it's not language learning, these large language models that are predicting the words to spit out, these fuckers aren't really actually reasoning. They're just predicting, which is different and less good. Okay? So they're pivoting. And I think it's a bold move. It's the first big-ass company that I've seen move the needle in the other direction, or change the course of this ship to the other way. And it's bold because there is so much money to be made in this space right now. We're still in the bubble. The bubble has not burst. It will, but it hasn't yet, right? And there's like still billions and billions of dollars being poured in to the AI future that everyone foresees, that everyone seems to think is going to happen. And it honestly, you have to be Apple. You have to have a fucking $1 trillion market cap to say, no, thank you. We're good. We're going to skip this one. Like every other company, just the amount of money, the amount of potential money to be made is just unfathomable. If you slap AI on your mission statement, suddenly you get just investors. Investors appear out of the woodwork. They crawl out of the fucking, like cockroaches. They crawl out from under the kitchen sink, and they give you money, right? Because they want to be first. Everyone wants to be first. Everyone wants to be the Google of this. ChatGPT is the Google of this, where they were first in line, and now everyone uses it because it's the thing. You ChatGPT it, just ChatGPT it, bro, right? So everyone wants to be the first in line. I think that very quickly. As a matter of fact, I saw another press release. This was a press release. Actually, again, it was not. I need to stop. I need to be just because it's an article that I read on fucking X.com, the everything app, does not mean it was a press release from the company. But Meta, it was reported on that Meta has finally stopped pouring money into the AI. They finally started cutting jobs and moving funds elsewhere because they've just been like an open wound, just gushing money into the fucking AI bubble, and the bubble will burst. It will happen. I think it's August. It's the end of August right now. I think by the end of this year, the bubble will have burst. That's my prediction, my bold prediction. By the end of 2025, people will finally have wised up and be like, okay, yeah, it's not the thing. And then the entire U.S. economy and world economy will collapse because Nvidia makes up 8% of the fucking S&P 500, and everyone's 401ks are riding on these whales, these AI whales, and when that stops, when people stop buying the chips, we're fucked. It's over. So we have that to look forward to, which will be fun. But let me know your thoughts on this. I'm very curious what you guys think about the Apple thing. I do think that it is interesting. It's fascinating that they pivoted this hard away from the AI thing, even though everyone else is doing it. Do they have the foresight to do this? So, like, is this a legitimate smart business, like, foresight thing? Or, like my brother said the other day, is it just because they were late to the party and they said, well, we don't want to play anyway. Yeah, we don't even like AI. AI is boring and sucks anyway because they were so late to the thing. That's possible, I guess, but I just don't. I think with all their resources, I don't see that being true. But whatever. What do you guys think? What do you think? Have you had experiences where you ask fucking Siri for a thing and then she's like, would you like me to ask ChatGPT? I have had that happen to me a couple of times, not nearly as often as it should, because that bitch can't do anything right. She sucks. She is the worst. She's really good for waking me up, I say, almost every night. I don't believe in the recurring alarm. I've just been burned too many times. That fucking thing, I swear to God, it just 30% of the time doesn't go off. But like every night, I'll go, wake me up at 7 a.m. and then she wakes me up at 7 a.m. Right? Or remind me to do this shit on August 30th in 1997. The past. Oh boy. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, she's really good at really basic tasks, but wouldn't it be so cool if she was like legitimately smart? If you could have, this is what I've been wanting since ChatGPT became a thing. I want that fucking thing in my home. I want my Amazon Alexa to be ChatGPT, where you can have a full conversation with it. But you know, as previously discussed, even ChatGPT is not that level yet, where it's good, where it's like a you can have a legit conversation with it verbally. It's good texting wise, but when you jump into that verbal, it's not great. So I don't know. It would be really cool though to have that bitch just be able to like go into any app and do, you know, open the weather. Like, let me think of a good example. Yeah, this song that I'm listening to right now, add it to this playlist in Spotify. That would be sick. Or, hey, add this movie to my Letterboxd watch list. That type of thing. Just like it, where it can go into apps and do things in the apps. That would be sick. But it's not nearly that smart. It can't do the basic ass shit that I ask of it. So we're a long way from that. But onward. This is a very interesting topic. I'm keeping my ear to the ground on this bad boy. I'm curious what Apple is doing. I'm an Apple person. I don't know what to tell you. I hate the green texts. Like, that's the blue texts have me in a fucking stranglehold. There are some cool things happening with the Androids, but I just am not willing to be the green tech, the green goblin, as my beloved Jake Kennedy coined years ago. Who's the green goblin in this group chat? Beautiful. Beautifully said. I will never be the green goblin. All right. Onward. Okay, so I wanted to briefly talk, and we'll get to SILKSONG in a second. Don't you worry. But Cenat is being added into Fortnite. You guys Fortnite people? I'm not. But I was here's where my interest comes in. Okay. I didn't know that Fortnite was just adding dudes in, like humans, you know? I guess they did Travis Scott. Well, Travis Scott was like, that was like 8 years ago. And also that was a concert, so that was different. But this is just a Cenat skin. And like I always figured it was like Master Chief and fucking, you know, James Bond or something, like fictional characters that got skins. But Cenat is just a human being, right? And oh god, am I recording? Jesus Christ. Okay, yes. Oh my god. But yeah, so Kaisen, like they just be adding straight people to this shit. So I looked into it. Yeah, there's like 50 dudes. You can just play as a human, like a celebrity. Like there's many people you can just play as in Fortnite. And I looked up. I wanted a list of all the collaborations that Fortnite has done with other properties. It is comically long, comically long. There's, I mean, the triple digit number of collaborations they've done. Way too many to list here. But yeah, there's plenty. This is not abnormal. You can just play as as a small black man. That's kind of funny, right? Is that anything that you can just play as a guy? Is that anything? Am I crazy here? Maybe I'm just out of touch. But I didn't know you could do that. Here's another interesting thing. They announced this on the Las Vegas Sphere. They did a 10-minute Fortnite news coming up in the fucking Sphere. I'll put some of the footage in the episode. They have this 10-minute thing of like, just it's Cenat as a Fortnite guy, and he's jumping around and dancing and doing his thing. Price tag. What do you guys think is the price tag for a one 10-minute video at the Las Vegas Sphere? The exterior of the Sphere, basically an ad, 10 minutes long, $500,000. Yeah, $500,000. That's it's a lot of money, obviously. I think it was like $450,000 or something for 10 minutes. And then I was like, that's probably roughly what the same, what people are paying for Times Square, or maybe, no, it's probably more, right? Because the Sphere is so fucking big. And yeah, I don't know. It's amazing to me that Fortnite still has the relevance that it has. It has been popular, essentially unchangingly, unflinchingly popular for, Jesus Christ, when did it come out? 2017. Wow. 8 years. Oh, shit. Did Fortnite release the same year as Hollow Knight? It did. It did. It's a beautiful transition. Oh, my God. Yep. Fortnite released on July 25th, 2017, which was 3 months after Hollow Knight. It's like I planned it. Oh, it's beautiful when the slop gods, do that to you. So, I don't know. Shouts out Cenat. He's very funny. I like him a lot. I think he deserves the spot. He deserves the number one spot. He's very entertaining. He spends a ton of money on really impressive productions, and yeah, I think he's just great. I have no problem with Cenat. So shouts out to him. If I played Fortnite, I would not spend money on his skin, but maybe I would. I don't know. You guys like cosmetics? Fuck cosmetics. Not my bag, not my jam. Don't give a shit personally, but God bless you, Cenat. God love you. Onward. Quick reminder, ladies and gentlemen, to please leave me a comment on the YouTube or the Spotify if you are listening on either of those platforms. And also, if you have not subscribed or followed the podcast, please, for the love of God, do so, because it helps small podcasts like this one get off the ground. It means the world to me when you do that. Thank you so much. SILKSONG is out. It's not out, but it's real. It's fucking real. Mother freaking SILKSONG is here. Some background for those who don't know, which I'd be surprised if you're not aware of this. But Hollow Knight, excellent Metroidvania, released in 2017, a few months before Fortnite. It's sort of like it took the internet by storm, but not quickly. It became a beloved indie darling. Sold like 15 million copies at time of recording, which is a lot. Its sequel, Hollow Knight SILKSONG, is the single most wishlisted game on Steam currently. Number one most wishlisted game. And basically, if you're unfamiliar with the Metroidvania genre, we talked about it a little bit last week, but it's the name comes from a amalgamation of Metroid, as in like the Samus fucking, basically it's Metroid and Castlevania. Those are the two properties that sort of pioneered the thing. And it's usually a 2D world that you're tromping through and you're unlocking new areas as you go. There's blockages that you'll find that you'll need power-ups to access. And so your typical or your classic Metroid example is like, oh, I can't get through this door because it requires the missile launcher. And I don't have the missile launcher yet, so I have to turn back and go find it, and then I have access to this place. So it's like it's a really effective way to dole out your game that way, so it's not super overwhelming to people at first. You get like your beginning area, and your beginning area is often immediately connected to a much harder area, but there's like I said, the blockage there. So you have to upgrade your fucking guy to eventually get to that harder area. Okay, so that's your gameplay loop. It is so much fun. Hollow Knight is excellent. It is difficult. It's really fun. It is the depth of the game is very impressive. There's just like this massive amount of lore to the thing, to the point where, for me, on first playthrough, as a gamer boy, I like to be rewarded for my exploration. I like to, when I happen upon a little nook or a cranny or a nook, when you happen upon a little thing and you like go down the little hallway, I want there to be a thing there that I can use to upgrade my boy. Okay, and I guess more basically, I just want there to be a thing there. You need to reward me for my exploration. In every game, I'm very frustrated when I go under the stairs and there's not a little goodie there to pick up, right? But in Hollow Knight, they do that, but then probably, I would say 35% of the time, it's not a life increase or a new move or weapon or whatever, or money. It's like a character that will tell you some lore, which it does not interest me nearly as much. But there are people, as a matter of fact, there are dozens of YouTubers who have careers because of this game. There are many people online who devote their lives to Hollow Knight and like uncovering the mysteries of the world and like making the timeline make sense. And you don't have to do any of that to get value from the game. I barely fucking kept up with the story at all. I was just there for the gameplay and the exploration and the upgrading and the Metroidvania of it all. But there is a ton of depth there to be had if you want it or if you're curious about it. If you're looking to dive deep into the Hollow Knight lore, there's plenty of shit to go off of, and a million YouTubers that will walk you through that journey, right? So that the depth breeds longevity to your game. I'm going to directly compare this to a game that I just completed for the third time. I just finished Ori and the Will of the Wisps. I just had a hankering to play it. What happened was I happened upon one of the soundtrack songs on my Spotify, and I was like, God damn, that shit hits, brother. Excellent soundtrack. There's a couple of, in both games, the Will of the Wisps is the sequel to Ori and the Blind Forest, and there's a couple of songs on either soundtrack that are just fantastic, excellent, beautiful, unbelievable, and that are on my Spotify liked songs. So they'll come up every once in a blue moon, and they came up, or one of them came up, and I was like, brother, I'm going to replay that fucking game. This is the third time through it for myself. I haven't picked it up since I don't know. It came out, I looked this up. It came out in March of 2020. I played it the first time then. I probably waited 2 years, if I were guessing, to play it again. And then I just replayed it 3 years after my second time just now. Ori, the first one, came out in March of 2015. And Hollow Knight came out 2 years later. Ori and Hollow Knight, in my mind, are of pretty similar quality level. I think they're both excellent. I love them both. there's just not the depth that you get with Hollow Knight in Ori. Ori's very surface level. You don't get the lore. You get just like excellent gameplay and really fun mechanics. And just as a briefly, I'll give you a little something to chew on here. Why you should play the first Ori if you haven't. The first Ori, the first half hour of the game, maybe like hour or two of the game, you have like your dude, you're just a little guy, you're a little fucking mouse. In the first game, you have like your typical move set. You jump and you kill enemies and you explore, right? And then early on, you get this upgrade called Bash, and it utterly transforms how you play the game. It's wild. So like you have your whatever, your A is jump, X is on a controller, Xbox controller, X is hit shit, kill shit, and then Y becomes Bash. And what Bash does is like if you get close to an enemy, you can fucking use it to slingshot your dude in any direction. And there's also like these like hanging lamps that you can do the same thing with. There's all these things that you can bash off of, and then suddenly movement is introduced into the game. And again, it utterly transforms the whole thing. So then suddenly you're like fucking zooming through levels. And if you don't want to kill a guy, you just basically, like I said, you grab onto him and you shoot. You can just use him as a springboard. It introduces verticality to the game because there's suddenly like you can just more or less slingshot your way from enemy to enemy or from lamp to lamp or whatever the thing is. Okay, so it's really, really awesome, and it's an incredible mechanic that makes Ori what it is. Hollow Knight borrows a ton from Ori, and I think is heavily inspired by that game. They do not have the bash mechanic or anything similar. I think it would be too on the nose, too much of like a come on, bro, you're just an Ori clone. If you did the bash thing, the bash is uniquely Ori, right? But Hollow Knight does a million other things better than Ori does, but I think Ori has that, and that one thing. Okay, a couple things. See, I'm really torn on which game is better of these first two games, but I think I like Hollow Knight more because Hollow Knight has like Dark Souls bosses. Hollow Knight is like these incredible, really well thought out bosses that are difficult and that you're gonna die a bunch during, and that you can master. And it's really satisfying to finally beat one of these fuckers after, many, many tries. It has a totally different aesthetic. Hollow Knight is like gothic, dark, creepy, kind of grimy the whole game. And Ori is the opposite. Ori is like light, beautiful forest colors. So very kind of two sides of the same coin. Very similar mechanics. And again, Hollow Knight borrowed a ton from that first Ori game, right? So then we're moving on to 3 years after Hollow Knight comes out. We get the sequel to Ori. It's called Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which is the game that I just replayed. And in this sequel, Ori borrows a ton from Hollow Knight. So we have like borrowing and inspiration now happening from the sequel. They're borrowing from the game that borrowed from them. You know what I mean? Here's another thing that Ori does very well in both games, and something that Hollow Knight does not have. Ori has these really impressive set pieces and chase sequences where you'll get to the end of a level, a difficult level that you've been working on for the several hours, right? And you'll have this like crazy chase sequence where you have this like boss coming after your ass, and you have to use your bash mechanic along with all these other movement mechanics to stay away from the fucking guy that's chasing you, right? It's really fun, really exciting. Another thing that you can die a lot of times and have to master. Really, really cool. Hollow Knight does not have anything like that. But then we get this SILKSONG trailer And they fucking got chase sequences. So SilkSong is borrowing from Ori, which borrowed from Hollow Knight, which borrowed from Ori. Isn't that fucking so cool? It's so cool. It's beautiful. It's like an orgy. It's like they're nutting in each other's eyes, or just swapping jizz in and out of each other's mouths and anuses. Gross. Just a minute. Ori never it never had the fandom that Hollow Knight did. And I really do think that it's because of the lack of depth. It's pretty surface level. There's not a whole lot of... Yeah, there's not as many bosses. There's like... I mean, it's not even close. There's like a 10th of the number of bosses in Ori that there is in Hollow Knight. And less... I mean, it's great for speedrunning, though, because of the movement. I don't know. It's a little odd to me how much people have fallen in love head over heels with Hollow Knight, and that Ori kind of gets left in the dust that way. It's odd. But that brings us to post 2020. Ori 2 comes out. It borrows a lot from Hollow Knight. They have the same map mechanic where you find a guy. You have your map, but it's shitty and it's like not well filled out, and then you find a guy on the map who will sell you that area's map that's like very well filled out, and it's got all the nooks and crannies and stuff on it, right? So they took that straight from Hollow Knight, and, along with a bunch of other stuff. And in the sequel, there's a base, which is like the equivalent of Dirtmouth. You have like that you can upgrade. And anyway, all that is to say, Ori 2 comes out, doesn't make much of a splash. There's for the starkest difference, just you can find, like I said, dozens of Hollow Knight YouTubers. There are very few Ori YouTubers, and the sub counts and the viewership is just night and day. It just doesn't, there's not many people are not writing or dying for Ori that way. I like it a lot. Okay, so Hollow Knight comes out. It does very well. It doesn't become this phenomenon, though, for several years. And Team Cherry, the developers behind Hollow Knight, are a team of two people, and they hire like contractors. It says sometimes to do the music and some of the art assets and stuff, but it's literally two dudes who are the entirety of Hollow Knight, which is nuts. So Hollow Knight comes out, it is a hit, and then it just continues through word of mouth and very, very high Steam ratings and stuff. It just continues to sell. It's like Titanic in the box office. Titanic just never stopped selling tickets. They just sold week after week. 0.01% drop or whatever, like it was just held in the box office. I always relate things to movies because movies are how my brain works. But this, like Hollow Knight, it continued to sell, and it just over time developed this sort of rabid fandom that was hungry, as an understatement, very, very hungry for the sequel, which is Hollow Knight SILKSONG. And every single Nintendo Direct, Xbox Direct, Game Awards, if you looked at the chat, 100% of the time you're going to see, and we have one more announcement left. It's a long way to just everyone. SILKSONG ? SILKSONG ? SILKSONG. It's like it was a meme for years. Any announcement of any new gaming property or even anything, any like movie, it just became a meme, like a funny thing to say SILKSONG ? Which in itself is a self-fulfilling sort of hype cycle, right? People are hyped about it, so they're going to use it as the meme thing. And then because people are using it as the meme thing, more people are going to be like, what the fuck is this SILKSONG thing? And they'll Google it, and they might find the first game. And, that's how this organically happened. It's a really cool thing. So since SILKSONG was introduced or announced, SILKSONG was announced. Oh, let me find out. Holy shit. SILKSONG was announced in 2019. Pre-COVID, bro. Fucking Avengers Endgame was in theaters when this game was announced. Nuts. Obviously with no release date. There were several other they announce it and then they're kind of radio silent, and they like very sparingly will give you an update. And I think because they were so radio silent, Team Cherry, it kind of built more hype and momentum around it. I think had they been giving regular updates, it would have been less interesting. It's like if George R.R. Martin actually was going to make a book. How he's so radio silent and he doesn't ever offer updates. He doesn't do it because he's not working on it and it's never going to come out. But if he like decided to drop the fucking Winds of Winter tomorrow, that would be insane. A couple years ago on an Xbox panel, they announced SILKSONG again very briefly, and we're like, yep, it's coming at the end of the year, 2023, it's coming. And nothing, of course. And then, just several announcements similar to that where they kind of hope and promise, and you're hoping on a prayer that it'll happen, and then it won't, and then it doesn't, and then they're back to radio silence from Team Cherry. So cut to this week, and after all this hype, we have an official announcement. We finally got a legit tweet from the Team Cherry account that said 48 hours from now, SILKSONG announcement on our YouTube channel. And in between then and now was Summer Games Fest, I believe it was. Let me double check that. Doesn't matter. But yeah, it was one of the Jeff Keighley big trailer announcements. And it was like right in between that little window. So Jeff Keighley gets on stage and says, I shit you not, I am confirming to you that SILKSONG is coming out this year. And here's more gameplay that you've never seen before, and we'll have a release date shortly. He did not offer a release date, but that was, like I said, Team Cherry had already said on their YouTube or on a tweet that they're go to the YouTube channel. So then 24 hours from the Jeff Keighley thing, they release the mother freaking release date. September 4th, 2025. 8 years after the first Hollow Knight. 8 years of hype, 8 years of selling the first game, 8 years of people who have fallen in love with the game and potentially the whole genre, Metroidvania. Like, actually, I played Ori first, but most people it's much more popular than Ori, and people are gonna find it and maybe potentially. I think it's just good for this type of game, and I love this type of game. So I'm very, very excited for this game. I will definitely be playing it and reporting back to you sloppers on September 4th how it goes. But we get finally, after the announcement has been made and it's set in stone, the game is done. It's coming out in 2 fucking weeks, September 4th. Like 2 weeks from now. Nuts. They do an interview with like a famous game journalist who they ask him like, okay, so what the fuck took so long? Were you aware of this insane hype? Did it not worry you at all? Like, are you worried about disappointing your literal millions of fans who are waiting with bated breath to play this game? And their responses are so funny. They are basically totally unaware of the hype. Completely unaware of the hype. They are offline people. They just like making games, Team Cherry. That's like the favorite thing to do. What the interviewer says was they enjoy the making of the game more so than they do the releasing and the like having players actually play it. They really like the development process, and it took so long because they were just having a really good time and they didn't want to stop making the game. That's so fucking cute. That's so sweet. Usually when you get something of this scale with this many delays, he's like, no, there are no delays. We never delayed anything. Development was smooth sailing the entire time. We just kept adding stuff to the game because we were having such a good time with it. And like we never had any really big hiccups. We never had any like crash outs or falling outs with the team or anything. We were just having a very good time. Like, I read a tweet that said this is the first game stuck in development heaven. That's fucking. It's so cool. Usually when you get stuff like this, games that take this long, they take this long because it is a hellish nightmare in the development world. And things go wrong, the studio gets cold feet. It's like it's a fucking nightmare. And it's just not the case at all. The journalist who did this interview with Team Cherry was expecting them to say that like Xbox, because they're partnering with Xbox for this release, and it will be on Game Pass on day one. He expected to say that Xbox was like a son of a bitch to work with, and they're like, no, they were excellent, actually, really, really sweet. Our every concern, every budgetary increase was sort of granted, and they saw the vision from day one, and they weren't pushy or anything. They just wanted us to deliver a great game, and I think that we have. So, I'm excited for people to play it. It's unreal. It's like, so you just don't see this type of thing, truly. So I'm really looking forward to SILKSONG. I do think it is going to it leaves a hole. It's one of those things, again, movie metaphor, kind of like in a horror movie when you don't see the ghost or the bad guy, it's often scarier than when you do eventually see it. Is the idea of SILKSONG, or it being like a meme, isn't that sort of in some ways better than actually having the game in your hands to play? In some ways, not every way. Obviously, it's going to be awesome, and I'm excited to play it, and it's going to be great. But now we won't get to meme on every Nintendo Direct. What are we going to say? What are we going to type in chat? What the fuck is the new game that everyone's excited for? The excitement is gone. You know what I mean? Because it's here. It's like we have it. It's the difference between Christmas Eve, and Christmas morning. When you're opening the presents, the anticipation and the excitement is no longer there. And that's most of the fun of it. Maybe not most, but a significant portion of the fun of it, I think it's interesting human nature that way, that hype is often more fun to live in than actual seeing. And because now we get to the actual game, which has the potential, I'm not saying this will happen, but it has the potential to disappoint. Right? When you see the thing in real life, no longer is it the best version of the thing that your brain can possibly think of. It's real. It's a real game with real flaws. And you're going to get lost on that fucking map for sure. For sure, you're getting lost on that map. I got lost so many times in the first game. That's my biggest complaint with it, honestly, is they really do trust you and hope that you can figure it out, and sometimes my dumbass needs some direction. But anyway, I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to those chase sequences that they took from Ori. I'm looking forward to the depth. I'm curious how it took the better part of a decade to make a game like this. I think there's the lore heads are going to be ecstatic. I think it's just going to be really fun and really exciting and fun to explore. So I'm stoked, man. SILKSONG is here. I can't fucking believe it. Can you guys believe it? SILKSONG is here. It's here. It's happening in 2 weeks. Nuts. You guys gonna play SILKSONG? What do you think? What do we think about SILKSONG? The fans were worried that the reason they were taking so long is because they're just rich as fuck and they don't need to come out with a sequel. Because, oh my god, my freaking toe is visible. This is a Tarantino shot. Oh boy. Yeah, they were worried because Hollow Knight sold 15 million copies at whatever it was, $20 a piece. You do the math. That's a lot of freaking dough. Even if Steam is taking a cool 25% off the top or whatever they do, it's a lot of money. So, but the interviewer was just like, no, they're just really enjoying the process, and they're sad that they don't get to make the game anymore. Oh, here's a little fun cherry on top. The article ends with them saying, yeah, we're just really excited about the SILKSONG DLC. We're like really hard at work on it. Like, they're already just pumping away at the DLC. The game's not even out yet. It's awesome. People like legit love for the game, love for the craft. In this case, game literally, but you know what I mean. They're just really into it, and that's the kind of people you want making things. That's a true artist. Just really, really appreciates the process of making a thing, and the reception to that thing is secondary to, you know, it's not the reason they're doing it. They're doing it because they love to do it. Yeah, dude. Shouts out to them. Shouts out to Team Cherry. Very much looking forward to SILKSONG. God bless you. God love you, Team Cherry. Looking forward to it. Oh, I briefly wanted to mention that the second Ori game took me 13 hours to beat this time, which I looked back at my old playthrough, and second time around, so this is my third time through the game, it took me exactly the same amount of time to beat it. Last 2 years ago, it took me 13 hours. And then my first playthrough, 100 hours. I 100% the game in all cases, but 100 hours. I was like, what the fuck was I doing? It took me 10 times the amount of, or like 9 times the amount of fucking gameplay. Anyway, shout out to Ori. You guys should play Ori. It's fun. It's free on Game Pass. Game Pass still the best deal in gaming currently. I actually don't pay for it, but I will. I will when SILKSONG drops. All right, speaking of games, it's a very game-heavy episode. Or should we break up the game topics? Should we go into a non-game topic, or should we go straight into... Fuck it, we're going straight into... Kirby Air Riders Direct. Kirby Air Ride. One of my brothers and I, we've played the freaking hell out of that game. It's just one of our childhood games that's kind of translated into adulthood, and my brother still has a GameCube, and so sometimes he'll bring it on family trips, and we'll play Kirby Air Ride still to this day, every once in a while, like once a year. And we've played hundreds and hundreds of hours of that game on the city trial mode almost exclusively. And now there is a sequel coming out directed by the same man that made the first one, the Smash guy, Sakurai, I believe is his name. He invented Kirby, and he is directing this new game for Nintendo Switch 2. And they put out a 47-minute direct. A fucking... Why? Why was it so long? How... Dude... It's Kirby Air Ride, too. Like, the game famous for having one button. Kirby Air Ride's whole thing was like, we're going to make a game that you can play. If you have, like, a stump for an arm, you can play Kirby Air Ride successfully. There's literally one button that you need. It's the A button. A button and control stick. The cart goes for you. You don't have to, like, accelerate or anything. You just turn. And you press A as boost. That's all there is. Do we need an hour-long Nintendo Direct for the sequel to this game? So the answer is no. We did not need that because I watched it and I skipped through quite a bit of it because they get real in the weeds. And I'm like, brother, like the Donkey Kong game came out that was allegedly like a masterpiece, and you know, maybe we got like a 5-minute sort of segment in a direct that was focused on a ton of other stuff. Why do we get this for Kirby Air Ride 2? I don't understand. Maybe it's just because of Sakurai and they're like respecting him and they want to give him all the time that he desires. But what they did was they demystified the game massively. Similar to what I was talking about with SILKSONG, the hype of the thing is it's a big part of why people get wrapped up in this world, in media in general. When you get hyped about a thing, the hype is often more fun than the thing itself. Right? So it's weird to me that you'd spend so long talking about a thing and kind of just telling us every in and out that exists for the game. They told us everything about it. I recommend if you're going to play the game, just don't watch this fucking thing. It's like a trailer. It's like a movie trailer that spoils the plot, but it's an hour long. It's an hour long movie trailer that spoils every aspect of the game. So I've seen. I think just I don't even need to play the game now. I've seen all of it. I've seen all I need to see. It looks good. You know, it looks like Kirby Air Ride 2. Just the fact that we're getting a Kirby Air Ride 2 is exciting. But I do think, you know, it was a mistake, I think, to give us so much information. What's new? So in the first one, you have 3 characters, but there's basically only one character. There's Kirby, and you have Meta Knight and King DDD. DD Mega Doodoo.
DD Mega Doodoo.
But those characters are shitty and no one likes them because they can't ride carts. They have their own vehicle, and you can't do anything fun with them. They're very stationary and boring, and they suck. So in the new one, there's many characters, many riders, and they can all ride carts, which is exciting. You get to be Meta Knight, who has a sword, and he can fuck people up, and he can jump on carts like everyone else can. He can ride the washing machine. He can ride the Shadow Star. He can ride the bird. And he can ride Dragoon and Hydra, presumably. They did not show Dragoon or Hydra, but they're presumably in this game as well. I have to imagine they're in the game. They have City Trial, of course. I don't think they have the awful top-down mode that no one played or liked. I think, you know, like I said, we've played hundreds of hours of Kirby Air Ride. I think we might have clicked onto the top-down mode thrice. 3 times, I think, in our entire history of playing the game. That mode is useless and boring and awful. But the City Trial is, I mean, incredible. I love that gameplay loop of, hey, you upgrade your guy. You upgrade your guy. I love upgrading my man. If you're a guy and you can upgrade me, let's say you are a guy and you can upgrade you. In all games, I love what you can upgrade a guy. What else to say about Kirby Air Riders? It's just odd to give us this much information. There's not a whole lot of depth to the game. The funniest part was he said we have added a new button, and he says unfortunately. He actually says in the first game you could play most of it with just one button. In the second game, we've added a new button, unfortunately. Very funny to say, unfortunately. But yeah, they have an A and a B button now. Holy shit. And the B button is your special. You get like an ult. And every character has a different ult. So, I mean, that's something. I don't know. He's like, we're trying to add more depth to this game. But again, why show me everything? Why would you? What is the thinking behind this? Why give us so much? We don't need that much. Does anyone want this much information? We want, like, you know, a feature film amount of data about Kirby Air Ride 2? It's very odd. Don't you think? Wouldn't you say? Very strange. So shouts out to Kirby Air Ride 2. I don't know. I think I'll probably buy it once I get a Switch 2. The issue, though, and I was waiting for him to drop this fucking bomb, and I knew he would, that motherfucker. No split screen. No split screen. Obviously online play, and you can do local play if you have more than one Switch 2, but no split screen. I hope I heard that wrong or something, or like he just didn't emphasize that split screen was a thing, because literally, what is the point? You gonna play Kirby Air Ride 2 with your boys online? I don't think so. You play it with your brothers when you're supposed to be conversating with extended family members, and you're fucking holed up upstairs with a cousin or two playing Kirby Air Ride, bro. That's how you play Kirby Air Ride. Not online. I hate the The murdering of the split screen format is really unfortunate. And I do understand why they do it. It's a money incentive. It makes you buy a Switch 2. Buy your own Switch 2, then you can play together. Fuck off. Fuck off. Oh, Mario Kart's not that way, is it? It might be. No, there's no way they'd do that. Yeah, that'd be crazy. Like Mario Kart, Mario Party. But why is Kirby Air Ride any different? Why you should like, fuck off, man. Give us the ability to play on multiple, or play on the couch with our friends and brothers and cousins. It's a bummer. So I don't know. Is it even worth buying if there's no split screen? TBH. I don't know. I'm not gonna play online. Fuck off. Can you imagine tryharding Kirby Air Ride? Getting really good, be like rank 1 legend in Kirby Air Ride 2. Okay. Shouts out to Kirby Air Ride 2. I don't know. Shouts out to the fucking hour-long Nintendo Direct. Don't know why you did that. Very odd. Maybe don't do that again. Leave a little bit of mystique for the thing. Leave a little bit of something. Why'd you tell us all that? Weird thing to do. Okay. A French man who looks a lot like Justin Bieber was hold on, let me pull up this story. It's funny. All right, so this French guy named Dylan Declos, who is like, his whole thing is looking like Justin Bieber. It's very odd. He's got the same tattoos. He shaved his head. He looks, with sunglasses, he can pull it off. He looks like it's pretty close. When you get close to the guy, it falls apart. And when he takes the sunglasses off, it's over. He does not look like him at all. But with the sunglasses and on stage from a far enough distance, he can pull off looking like Bieber, right? The Biebs. So he was just in Vegas, and the DJ got like tapped on the shoulder by someone who was like, Justin Bieber's here. He wants to come do a set. He wants to come up. And so he's like, okay. He's like, yeah, I mean, we're in Vegas. Crazy shit happens, whatever. He's like, ladies and gentlemen, I have a very special guest for you. Surprise guest, Justin Bieber. And he comes up and he plays Sorry. What's also funny is this dude's French. Presumably has a very, very French accent. I have to imagine that he's lip syncing, or that the backing track is doing a whole lot of the heavy lifting for this impersonation set, because is it too late to say sorry? Oh god, I can't do fucking accents at all. Don't you guys wish you could do accents? It's like it's a whole lane of comedy that gets unlocked to you. Oh, me sorry. I got nothing. But yeah, that, you know, it's just a bizarre thing to do that. Bizarre to devote your life to be looking like a different human, like another person. It's like the extreme edition of getting someone's face tatted on you, like a celebrity's face tatted on your body. You know, there's many celebrities that mean the world to me, but I would never do that. That is a true different level of fame. When people try to change their looks, like change the way they look to look like you, that's how you know you're like a superstar, insanely famous. Bieber's kind of fallen off recently. He's stumbled upon some hard times. I think that he's got a bit of a drug issue. But, you know, there's still people out here impersonating him, and even your impersonators are welcomed with open arms. Like, it'd still be fucking crazy to see Justin Bieber at a thing. Like, he's still that famous, right? And he has been since he was 11. He's been sexualized since he was a child, and I can't imagine that's gotta be easy to stomach. He might have also been diddled. I could see that definitely have happened. I don't not respect it, by the way. I think it's a pretty baller move to trick a whole venue into thinking that you're a guy. And I mean, this is a pretty impressive amount of commitment to the bit. It strikes me as similar to one of my favorite subreddits. And by the way, if I'm going to be the anti-Reddit, like fuck Reddit guy, I have to stop bringing up the subreddits that I frequent. But I have, you know, I can be both. Fuck you. I'll do both. I don't give a shit. I hate Reddit, but also I use it. Okay, it's an abusive relationship. But there's an excellent subreddit. I'll hand it to you, Reddit. You got some good stuff on there. And this is the last compliment that you'll ever hear me give you. But there are some good subreddits, and one of them is Act Like You Belong. I love social engineering and basically using people's social norms to get your way in the world. I think it's really interesting. There's this whole crop of people who, the classic one that I've always heard is if you have an orange vest and a ladder, you can get into any building on Earth. No one will question you. You just walk in with confidence, with jizz. You walk in with jizz and riz, and people just are like, oh, what's going on, man? You just don't ask questions. My dad taught me this very early on. Actually, he's a big concert goer, and his thing is buying a nosebleed and then just trying to get down as quickly or as close as possible to the stage, and he's very good at it. What he'll do is just like he I was a child, but he took me and was like, okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're just going to walk right past the guy as if we belong there. Act like you belong. That's the whole thing. If you're looking around like this and you're like, oh geez, I don't know, it doesn't work. You stick out like a sore thumb, and the guy's gonna catch your, hey man, can I see your fucking ticket? Right? But if you just walk with jizz, you get straight in, dude. And 9 times out of 10, it works. It's really remarkable. It works. I was way back in the day when I was I had a fake ID. And to be fair, I'm big and I could get away with it pretty easily. But I was trying to tell my younger friends how to do it. I was like, dude, you just hand them your ID with confidence when you walk into a bar. You don't go, oh geez, I don't know, maybe. Like it's Riz, bro. It's fucking Riz. You gotta have the jizz in your balls. Okay, that's how it works. So this is like taking that to the utmost extreme, and getting the same tattoos as him is like, ooh, it's questionable. But it's commitment, you know? And I do respect a committed player. He apparently also racked up like a $10,000 bar tab and then left it unpaid. He did eventually pay it days later, but he is no longer welcome at this Las Vegas venue. It'd be funny too to walk in just without the glasses and be like, hey, I'm a normal guy. Like, anyone ever tell you kind of look like Justin Bieber? What's that? Bon chui? Oh, sucking a fucking cigarette. He's got a baguette in his back pocket. That's yeah. French cigarette baguettes. Reddit. I think I have 3 talking points on this podcast that I just rotate between. That's something you don't really know until you do a thing. You're like, oh, there's not a whole lot of depth in this brain of mine. It's more like I just hit the same sort of beats. Beat. But shouts out to this freak who has devoted his life to looking like Justin Bieber. God love you. I mean, you know, it's weird. Is it illegal? No. Is it morally reprehensible? I don't think so. It's just odd. Which is fun, you know? Some people are odd. Some people are weird, and it makes it's the spice of life is living with people like this who will get the same tattoos as a famous person, so that they can break into Las Vegas nightclubs and play a mediocre pop song on stage. Pretty good. Pretty good. Shouts out to this freak. All right, onward. What else we got? Yeah, what have I been watching? I want to give a huge shout out to, I would just say, one of my new favorite YouTubers. This guy, J Cote, Cote, Cote. He's hilarious. He's awesome. He's been killing it on TikTok and Instagram with sketches, and recently he's been doing more long form YouTube stuff. He's got 4, 8, 12, 13, 14, 15 videos total on his, or long form videos on his YouTube channel. And they're hilarious. They're all really, really good. He is an excellent sense of humor. Really, really funny guy. Love the way he talks, and his just his whole fucking demeanor is just hilarious. It's amazing. And he did this Q&A video recently where he got a question, who are your favorite YouTubers? Brother, I've never felt as seen, as heard as I have. Like, he listed 100% of my favorite YouTubers. It's we have identical comedic taste.
I feel like an obvious one is probably Nakey Jakey. His style definitely influenced me. Then, of course, there's Drew Gooden, Eddie Burback, Jenny Nicholson, obviously Papa Meat and Wendigoon, which I talked about in my last video. Red Letter Media for sure. I think that's my favorite YouTube channel is Red Letter Media.
Nakey Jakey, Drew Gooden, Eddie Burback, Jenny motherfucking Nicholson, dude. My goat, my queen, and Red Letter Media is his all-time favorite channel. That's my all-time favorite channel. Oh my god. Wait, hold on. Let me see if I can show you this. What's that sign on the wall right there? What's that? Oh shit, brother. So yeah, I hope to one day have the clout on this podcast to have this man on, because we have identical interests, bro. It's so cool. I've never seen someone online that has my literal identical. I have the exact same list of favorite YouTubers. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, he talks about Chris Stuckman and like movie reviewer guys too. Bruh. Vsauce. Bruh. Yeah, so God love you, Jay Cote. Really hilarious guy. Crazy sense of humor. Hilarious way of speaking. Can't recommend him enough. Check out Jay Cote. Cote. Jay is Jay. God love you, Jay Cote. I hope to one day have you on this podcast when I get my numbers up, brother. Shouts out to you. We love you here at Slop Chop. All right, what else? What else have I been watching? Internet Historian just dropped a new mother freaking video, brother. First one in like a year. He's one of these guys that drops a video every freaking, 12 months. And they're always great. They're always very good. I think he, if you guys remember, a little bit of internet history for you. Oh, a little bit of internet history about the Internet Historian. I think he is an S tier, God tier YouTuber with an asterisk. There's an asterisk here. Yeah, so about a year ago, H Bomber Guy dropped a 4-hour freaking massive video about YouTube plagiarism. He started the video talking about like shitty slop YouTubers who are just like regurgitating information word for word from other sources and calling it their own content. And then he was like, okay, well, if there are shitty YouTubers doing this, what if there are good YouTubers doing it as well? And he said, and he named Internet Historian, and his video, the whole Man in Cave is the video that was like, from what I understand, word for word fucking plagiarized, which is unfortunate because I love that video. And it sucks. I think he, weirdly enough, after that happened, this is his first brush with controversy. This guy, I think people that are YouTube pilled like myself are universally fans of Internet Historian. I think he, like I said, his content is incredible. Anyone that is spending a year on a video, I think, is worth your time. But he's very funny, very like legitimately interesting and thoughtful, and like you'll learn some shit watching his content. It's like it's always some historical event. This most recent one was the Ever Given freight disaster that happened a couple years ago. But my point was, ever since the plagiarism allegation, his content has gotten worse. Unfortunately, it's gotten a little worse, which does happen. Where I'm seeing like a a pattern. I was just talking about Andrew Callahan recently with a friend of mine. I don't think his content took a dip after all the public controversy, but I think it's evened out significantly, and it's back to where it used to be, which is great. I'm not a big Channel 5 guy much anymore, but the Hunter Biden interview, stuff like that, is really good and impressive. But I do think it's tough to bounce back a lot of times from like your name being smeared in the mud. It does take a toll on your psyche. So I do think that has happened with Internet Historian a bit, because he was dropping some freaking mid for quite some time. And this video is good. It's 90 minutes long. It's about the it's good. It's just not great like it used to be. His videos used to be, I mean, like I said, God tier. Watch the No Man's Sky video. I don't think I can recommend the Man in Cave video due to the allegations, but Cost of Concordia is excellent. As a matter of fact, he mentions in this most recent video about the freight disaster, the Ever Given disaster in 2023. He like makes an offhand comment, like playing the audience, doing the Jim Gaffigan thing. Like, this is the same as the Cost of Concordia video, but much less funny. So he lampshades it. If you don't know the term, lampshading is doing exactly that, like speaking for the audience and getting ahead of the criticism. I'm not sure where the term was coined, but they're like, the example that I always think of is like a Disney movie. In the third Lion King movie, they'll say, well, the third one's always the worst, or it's never as good as the first two. That type of thing, and they're talking about a bug or some shit, but they're talking about the movie. So like, it gets ahead of the controversy, and it's a way of like winking at the audience and saying like, hey, we know that, yeah, we're on the same page here, okay? That's what lampshading is. And he does that, but it doesn't change the fact that it's true, right? It is just a less good version of the Cost of Concordia video. And I don't know how or why it really does seem like just since the controversy, his content has taken a bit of a dive, but it's still great. I don't know. I hesitate to use the word great, but it's still very good. It's still absolutely worth your time. It took him a fucking year, and it's actually just learning about the event is pretty interesting. So I recommend it. I just think it's interesting. It's odd. It sucks to see people kind of fall off, is all I'm saying. But shouts out to Internet Historian. I don't know. You're great, man. I don't know why I'm talking shit. It sucks to talk shit. Speaking of talking shit, I just want to get this on record, and just so I can have it. You guys know Hank Green, that fucking science YouTuber guy? I hate that fucking guy. I hate that guy. I think he's really annoying and smug, and I feel like the Dexter, the guy from Dexter who just smells something afoot. I just feel like he's got some skeletons in his closet, and that something's going to come out eventually, that he's a creep or a weirdo, and I'm going to feel vindicated. And I'm putting this right at the end of the episode, so I'm just doing it. I'm saying it out loud and putting it on camera, so that when that does happen, I'll get to post this and feel vindicated and go, ha ha ha, I was right. I never liked him anyway. I have never liked him. I think he's weird and annoying and creepy. Guy sucks. Anyway, what else have I been watching? Children of Men. Holy shit, Children of Men blew my tits off. Really, really fantastic. The first 5 stars on Letterboxd I've given in quite some time. I'd seen it once before, and I didn't remember just how good it was. It is really, really impressive. It's the same guy, Alfonso Cuarón, who did the 3rd Harry Potter movie, the universally accepted best Harry Potter movie. along with Roma, which I saw recently. Oh, another incredible film. Y tu mama también, from way back in the day. A couple of other excellent Mexican films, bangers. And he came out swinging with this. Your premise is that the human race has stopped being able to reproduce. Women just can't get pregnant anymore. So this is like the last generation of people that will ever exist. And our main guy is an ex-freedom fighter who, wouldn't you know it, some lady gets pregnant and he's got to like smuggle her out of the city, basically. It's fucking awesome. It's so good. Really, 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 really enjoyed it. There is a ton of symbolism and imagery and themes and things happening. There's a lot of stuff to chew on. My friends and I were talking about it for like a half hour after the movie ended, just discussing it and going over theories and stuff. And yeah, I loved it. It's beautifully shot. There's like there's a famous oneer in a car that there's like, it's like taught in film schools or something. There's a ton of behind the scenes footage of how they did it. It's very impressive. That like from that moment when that happens, the movie never takes the foot off the gas from that point forward. It's just balls to the wall, really exciting, very interesting, great philosophical stuff. Just can't recommend it enough. Really, really loved it. Children of Men. Excellent. I also just rewatched Captain America Civil War. Why did I do that? Why did I rewatch Civil War? I don't know. I've been meaning to for a while. I wanted some slop to enjoy and not have to think too hard about. Oh, I'm also watching something that I will be talking about shortly, but I need to gather my thoughts on it. It is a beloved, all I'm going to say is that it is a universally beloved property that I have not yet seen, and every time that I say that I haven't seen it, people go, what the fuck are you doing, bro? And I'm like, yeah, I know I haven't, but I'm finally seeing the thing, and I'll talk about it soon. But I watched the Civil War because I wanted to pause that beloved property and watch some easy to digest slop, and it's fine. It's so mid. That movie is so mid. It is shockingly worse than Winter Soldier. It's crazy. It's like it's you know, I think it's interesting because it puts our characters where they need to be before Infinity War. It gets them divided, and so they're not on speaking terms, and the Avengers are like not a thing at the beginning of Infinity War, and they have to kind of get the team back together to stop the big baddie. So that's that part's fun. But I think that like generally it's jam packed with shit, and a lot of it is silly, and most of the teaming up of superheroes on either side of this conflict, it's not like a philosophical debate. Really, the only debate is between Captain America and Iron Man, and all of the other characters are kind of auxiliary and just like, well, you know, I like Steve Rogers, so I guess I'll go hang out with him. Like, I don't know. Anyway, it's fine. It is the worst Russo brothers Marvel property for sure. For sure. The sophomore slump. It is a sophomore slump. Yeah. It is also weird those guys can't pull it together for anything other than superhero slop, but it is what it is. Anyway, I'm rambling now. Sloppers! God love you. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it. Go check out mostly J. Cote. That's the guy that I want to send people to. He's the shit. Check out the new Internet Historian video. Do not check out Hank Green because he's a diddler or something, allegedly, in my headcanon. But look what we've discussed this week. Apple not pursuing the large language models, Cenat and Fortnite. Mother freaking SILKSONG is here. Kirby Air Riders, that Justin Bieber impersonator. Bruh. What a fun week for Slop. What have you been slopping on recently? Let me know in the comments. Please leave me a comment. Comments help us dramatically, sloppers. We will eventually get this thing off the ground, and in the meantime, I'm having a great time doing it. God love you. I really appreciate you very much for listening, truly. See you next week. Thank you.